Master and Student Psychotherapist, episode whatever the hell. 8. Fucking 8. Right, so I want to look at actual practice inside of your practice, right? So you've already set the scene, right? It's in your house, but it's a different room, and it's... Explain the decor, actually.
Okay. So, you've never been to my flat, have you?
No.
No. So my entire flat is white.
Okay.
A, because I can't paint, and B, because I've just got a bit of OCD about that kind of thing. I like everything to be white and clean and fresh.
Okay.
So my spare room, which is where I practice, is white, and I've got a lot of plants in there. And I've actually broken one of the kind of cardinal rules of your therapy room in that I've got personal photographs in there. However, they are not of people. So I've got pictures of my dog and my horse up in my therapy room, which my clients can see.
Okay. Was that a decision that you made?
Yes.
And why did you make that decision?
Well, firstly, because I spend a lot of time in that room, and I want to be able to see my animals.
Yeah.
So for me, I like having pictures of my animals where I can see them, but also because I believe in bringing humanness into my practice.
Okay.
Which is pretty much the opposite of what I was taught in my training. Because my training was purely psychodynamic, I'm supposed to be a blank slate.
Yeah.
So my clients aren't supposed to know anything about me. I'm not supposed to give anything away about myself. I'm literally meant to be a blank slate.
Okay.
But I don't believe that that is necessarily what people want and need when they come to me.
Surely they're going to know, because they're human beings, that you are a human being with a life.
They are, but the idea is that what they're meant to do, so I'm this blank slate, and what they're meant to do is they're meant to project onto me their ideas about people, so that I can then act it out for them. It's all very woo-woo. It's all very, sort of unconscious, fantasy stuff. This was my training. So it was a lot of Freud. It was a lot of Klein, that kind of theory, which is very much about the unconscious. That's how I'm supposed to practice, but I don't, because I think it freaks a lot of people out.
Yeah.
I don't think people want to come and see a therapist who's just going to sit there. Like my therapist did, because he had to, because whilst I was training, he had to be a purely psychodynamic therapist. That was the rules for me, because I was in training. So he never used to say anything. Yeah. And I hated it.
I only have one experience of therapy, right? And a man sat in a room, said nothing, and we're in a beige room with beige furniture with no emotional anything, let alone a trigger. But of course that triggered me, because I think or at the time thought I was clever. And then he didn't, obviously they're waiting for you to say things, they're waiting for you to start. Well, that's great, but I didn't fucking start.
No, and this is kind of my point. So you're kind of backing up my point in that for some people that want purely psychodynamic, almost psychoanalysis, that's fine to be that blank slate. But for your average person who's coming to you, especially an addict, if you sit in silence with an addict, that is not going to end well.
No.
It really isn't. So I bring a bit of myself into my room. Yeah. I bring a lot of myself into my work. If clients ask me questions, I answer them. I've been caught out with that once. A woman I've been working with for some time, I hadn't long been qualified, and she asked me if I had any kids. And I said, oh, that's interesting, why'd you ask? And she said, well, you know absolutely everything about me, so I just want to know something about you. And I thought, do you know what? Fair enough, Whereas my tutors at university would have been like, you don't answer that question, what is it going to do to your relationship if she knows what she,
Was there, I can't think of the word I'm looking for, was there any cause and effect? So did you...
Consequence.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So, yes, of course there was, because I don't have kids, and, that can affect the therapeutic relationship.
Well, she would say, well, you don't know, you haven't got kids. Okay, I got that.
She didn't, but I have had clients that have said that to me, and it's valid. But what I do is I work with that. Yeah, let's talk about what that's
okay,
like.
Where am I lacking? How am I doing? What are you doing? You know, why do you make you feel?
What does it feel like to have a therapist who cannot possibly understand what it's like for you as a parent? What's that like for you?
I've heard this a lot from you, and I like, I mean, obviously you're my mate, but above and beyond that, the way that you say that you do things, you always look at, right, how does that situation come from you? How do you feel about that? And it's, a lot of people forget about the feelings, right? And most things that you do in life are driven by some feelings or another, be that hurt, be that anger, be that narcissistic tendencies as well. I was thinking actually the blank canvas thing, if you're treating a narcissist as well, you need to be blank canvas, because they want your reaction to them like so badly. So yeah, strange, isn't it? So okay, so do you ever find yourself in a situation where you think, okay, hold on, I need to be guarded here, I need to go back to my original training?
Sometimes, yeah. If I feel like the client is trying to find out information about me and it feels a bit wrong, then I might be a little bit guarded. But often that's just my stuff. It isn't about the client, it's about me and my history and what I'm making up in my head about this person. But it tends to be at the beginning of the relationship.
What worries me about moving into this area is that I carry a lot of baggage about, you know, who are you, why are you asking me questions, why, and all of that.
Okay. You know what I'm going to say to this, Jim, don't you?
Probably something to do with God.
No.
Oh, okay.
You carry a lot of baggage. Yeah. What do you do with baggage? Emotional baggage. Where do you tend to take that if you have a brain?
Therapy.
Yes.
Yeah. But every time, you see, talking to you is difficult because I have perfectly reasonable reactions to not going to therapy, in as much as I just genuinely can't afford it.
I know, and I understand that, and you've said that many times. How much research have you done into free therapy? Are there
absolutely none.
None.
Are you judging me, Laura Jane?
I'm judging everybody all the time. Okay. It's a very convenient excuse.
It is, yeah. It is, but it's true.
I know that.
But then also, I am not happy going to people cap in hand going, I really need therapy, but I'm completely broke.
That's why you need therapy.
Do you know why? Yeah. But okay, I don't quantify that. Why do I?
Well, this is a chicken and egg situation. So if you had therapy, you might be able to get rid of that feeling that you're a burden to people. That charities exist, free therapy exists because people want to help people that need therapy that don't have any money. You just got to get over yourself.
I love that. I need to get over myself.
Get out of your own way.
That is valid, because I've been in my own way all my life.
I know you have, Jim.
Okay, let's not make this about me again. Every fucking time. Right, I would like to know, right, we've kind of touched on this, but so how do you make clear boundaries to a new client?
I have a contract.
Whoa, I wasn't expecting that.
Sorry.
No, that's brilliant.
I have a written contract
like a piece of paper?
They sign, yes.
And it sets out the fact that I'm not going to live out your fantasies. I'm not going to, you know.
You can't contact me in between sessions unless it's to talk about rearranging. This is my cancellation policy. You know, the stuff that's written down is the real sort of hard and fast stuff. But we will also talk about you know, things like, I don't know, other stuff as it comes up. Like I had someone once say to me, can I be your friend on Instagram? And I had to say no. It's fine on Facebook, but my Instagram is private because it's not appropriate for you to have access to my Instagram. So as things like that come up, I'll deal with them, but I'm very clear about it.
Yeah, I think that's the key. Is just clear, concise communication. And also then there can be no hard feelings about it either. Because boundaries aren't there for cruelty, they're there to save both sides. And I think that's important that everyone knows that. You know, your therapist, people see therapists as lifesavers because they are. I mean, okay, I don't want to say anything. There was a situation, you and I, we were working together, and someone said, oh, thanks so much for helping. And the person in question said, that's all right, Laura saved my life. And didn't stop for effect and wait to see if anyone clapped about what he said. He just said, that's all right, Laura saved my life. Walked out and got on with it. right? And also time out of that person's day, the skill set they were using, and I was like, holy fuck, that's huge. But I couldn't say anything or do anything because the guy's there.
I know, don't, because it makes me cry.
Well, well, it didn't make me cry, but it made me think, holy shit, I know her. So that's awesome. So anyway, I'll stop doing it because you're getting emotional.
I don't mind, because it's lovely to be reminded.
Well,
there are a few people in my life that will say, I had it the other day, someone rang up, left a voicemail on my phone. He said, I just wanted to say that it's X amount of years since the day I met you, and if I hadn't met you, I would be dead. And it just blows me away when stuff like that happens.
Well, I hate to say this, but that might just be because you're really good at what you do.
Oh, shut up, Jim.
Yeah, you can't take it back, can you? It's all right to assassinate me, but I shan't be nice to you. I think what we've got to understand as well is the depth of feeling involved. You as a therapist have just got emotional about a positive response to you and what you do. But you imagine the people coming to you and the turmoil they're in, if they're given just an ounce of clarity and space in their own head, right, they're able to move past at least some parts of their troubles. And I think, if you can understand the emotions in that, and you're not allowed to get emotional on you're allowed to get emotional here, but in that room, that's a dangerous thing to do as well.
It does happen though. I am a bit of a crier.
Oh, I know.
do crying sessions.
Right.
I do. And I think it does make some people feel uncomfortable, and I will apologise, but I cannot help it.
Yeah, but it's all very well putting on a suit of armour that says psychotherapist across your chest, right? But you are a human being. And also, I mean, I've been in situations where, because I'm not a psychotherapist, but, situations I have cried for somebody else. And I am a big, hard bastard, right? But I do have emotions. And I am somebody who will, act on that. But it's what's very telling is that people trust you. And considering where you and I come from, right, for you to have that level of trust from other human beings is fucking awesome. That's the way it is.
But do you know what? It's because that's where we come from. Because people know that I haven't just read this in a textbook. I haven't just learned it. I know what it's like to feel like you want to hang yourself with your dressing gown cord. Do you know what I mean?
I know
exactly
what you mean.
Know that I know that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's where the mutual respect comes from, I think. Because, I'm not someone who's just gone to college and learned how to be a therapist. I've lived through the stuff that brought me to that point.
I often wonder, because there's a lot of us in the world, right, addicts who have gone on to, to look at help others.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, my brother Sean, huge addict. Now he runs half the North flipping addict housing and all of that. He's in a new project. He's just built it all up. It's great. And also, he will tear your head off without thinking about it and laugh and go, haha, if you deserve it. But he will also cry like a small child if there's some fucking really bad thing happens for the thing. He's got emotions, right? Just because he can do 7th Dan black belt martial arts stuff, right, doesn't mean he doesn't have a soul. And I think souls are important. And I am getting really distracted by this whole God thing, because that soul bollocks comes from you, right? I would never mention people's souls before, but because I'm in a room with you, I'm allowed to talk about, I think what's the most important thing to know is that psychotherapist or student underlying humanity.
Yeah.
And finding other people's peace and calm, I think really should be something that every human should be looking at for themselves and other people around them. And it's impossible to fight all of the badness in the world today. But if you can, I shut myself off from the news, I don't watch that, because also it's all bullshit, spoon-fed to you by somebody else's agenda, in my eyes. But I think if we all try to be humanists, where we just look out for the people that are important to us and don't give anyone that you don't know any shit because you don't know what they're going for, I think that's where we're at. Be it psychotherapist, be it student, be it just a fucking tattoo shop owner.
Human being.
Human beings are important, Laura. I tell you what, let's just have a little look. Now we're at this what we do to keep ourselves right in the room. I mean, we talked about boundaries, right? What are the warning signs to you that a client may not be taking on board the treatment or not reacting right to it?
Well, that's a bit of a difficult question because there is no right and wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like I've said to you in previous shows, I can't be emotionally attached to what the client does with the therapy. I can notice it and I can make a kind of mental note. I can bring it into the session, but it's up to them.
Is there ever a point where you say, we've been talking now, right, for a while, and you know your prescribed responses are all right, but I don't feel you're benefiting from this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I call it like the shit or get off the pot moment. You know, it's like we can go round in this circle for as long as you want, and these tend to be the addict clients. These are not your general psych clients. These are the addict clients that have come because they want to change. So we've gone round and round and round and round and round and round and round, and we've looked at all the options and we've discussed all the options and and then it's a bit like, are you going to take any action? Because I could take your money every week and we can carry on this, but that's not why you came. You came because you wanted to change. So I will challenge people, and we spoke before the show about, you know, there's the supporting role of the therapist, there's the challenging role of the therapist, and when I'm working with addict clients, I challenge a lot.
That's what. Well, that was the next question. Was okay. So if they're not, do you know? Because a lot of therapists won't challenge.
No, and a lot of non-addict recovery therapists won't challenge. But because I am an addict in recovery, I will challenge a fellow addict much more than just a normal therapist would
because
do.
you know, you can smell the bullshit.
Of course I can.
Addicts are fucking great at lying.
Yeah.
Right? If you think about the heart of an addict, right? Most of them don't live in big houses with lots of money and they can buy all the cocaine or the heroin or the whatever the fuck they want. Most of them have to go out and steal, or they have to lie. And their manipulation powers are enormous. And by them, I mean me. I can do that. Or I don't know if I can anymore. I've got a conscience.
You can, because you pull out that old line about not being able to afford therapy. It's the same difference. It's like, I don't want you to challenge me anymore about therapy, so I'm going to give you this full stop about I can't afford it. It's the same thing. Yeah,
but are you... Okay, no, that's interesting, right? And I get what you're saying, you fucker. But what I'm also... That happens to be true, right? But also, looking for free things... How have you done that? You steered me right back into that.
No.
Right, okay, that's cool. But what I'm thinking is, as well, is if you don't challenge... in any level of therapy, see, I bounced that right out of the room, right?
We'll come back.
Yeah, oh, I know. If you don't challenge somebody's bullshit, right, addicts will only change when they want to change. Now, I said previously, before I got clean, 500 times, I have to change my life, mostly because I'm crying at Hovis adverts because I'm on come down day, right? But then, when the badness happened and I had to change, then I really wanted to, and I did.
Yeah.
I think what we're all saying is you've got to look for the actual truth. Somebody may pay lip service to changing and stopping, right? But you know as well as I do, if somebody's been high, especially with heroin, within the last 3 days, you can see it. You can do it. I mean, in theory, also coke as well. You know, even if they're on lines, you're taking that. You can still see it. You can see the edges of them, they're a little bit crusty, you know, and it's all fucked. So you know that people basically are going to walk into your room and lie their face off unless they're genuine. So if you don't pick up on that, if you don't challenge that bullshit, you can never get to the fundamentals of it.
No.
And with addicts only.
Yeah, this is about working with addicts. You know, I do say to my clients, my addict clients, that I am the kind of therapist that will challenge, are you okay with that? And some are and some aren't. And I also give the caveat that if at any point it's too much, you can tell me, you can say, you know, to back off a bit, and I will take that on board.
Why don't you ever back off when you're talking to me then?
Because you deserve it, Jim.
Probably true, yeah.
Yes.
Fucking hell. I get quite a hard time here, and I choose to be in this room making this as well, you know that. Okay, we, sadly, again, have to end. So your abuse has to stop.
Oh, damn it.
But we'll do it. Listen, it should be said that if you are in a position where you do need therapy, there are charities that will help you, and they will presumably help me as well. We will look for some together, and we will write them in the doobly-doo underneath. If you do need help immediately, or you are in crisis, we also, at the bottom of this, have the websites and the phone numbers you can call. So look after yourself. We'll see you next time.